I wasn't sure if that was my eyes or a fog. Hey, I'm Olivia. I was blind until 2016. Come to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando, Florida with me. I used to go to Halloween Horror Nights when I was blind, and it was really hard to get used to navigating it with sight. Now that I have the hang of it, I want you to come with me. My friends couldn't make it this year, so you get to be my friend and you get to come. I'm experienced in the Florida climate. I've been here a lot, so I have the leggings, I have energy bar with caffeine in here, I have my RIP tour lanyard from the other year where I can put my express pass in this, a battery pack that can literally charge my phone like 7 times. I have my microphone, I have a cool necklace. I even have a shopping bag from Target that I can cover the camera in if it rains, because that happens in Florida. Let's go. We're here. Now we have to go through security, and it's a lot longer walk than Hollywood if you're familiar with that event. We have these airport thingies, floor thingies. Woo! Oh yeah. I'm walking, and I'm also walking. Walking twice, I guess. What's the math behind that? Up here in this area, that's where security is gonna be. So I'm gonna have to put you away. Look at how big this is. Oh, in here? So you probably heard that security guard get pretty rude with me right there, which is pretty unnecessary. Was about to put my stuff away before going through security. There's no way around it. They're really jerky, and they always have been. I really wish that they would not be like that, because he could have said it in a slightly nicer tone, and I was going to be doing that anyway. I was going to be putting my stuff away. But you are allowed to film in the park. I guess security doesn't want to be filmed because obviously I'm allowed to film here. There's no problem with that. As you can see, it's like super long, so you can take either the escalator-y things, I don't know what they're called, or you can walk. We're going to walk. For my Los Angeles friends, I just want to give you an idea of the scale of how large this is compared to LA. Look at how many people. It's a literal sea of people. There's probably thousands ahead of me. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to get something to eat before I go in, because I don't really eat theme park food. Okay, so one thing I gotta tell my West Coast friends, this is the Cowfish Grill. Too close again. No, go away. Back. The Cowfish Grill is my favorite place to eat. I don't think I'm gonna have time to do it today because I really wanna get in and get started. If you're here, that's my recommendation on where to eat. We're going to be walking for a while. I don't know how much bigger this is than the Hollywood location, at least 5 times, probably 10. I'm a bad estimate of it, but I am going to tell you, it's a long walk to get into the park. That's why they have those moving walkways. Oh, we're finally getting to the Globe. We just passed the Cinnabon cart. One of my former traditions that I have is at 1 a.m. leaving Halloween Horror Nights, getting a giant Cinnabon and eating it in the bathtub. Don't judge me. And this is Florida's Globe. It's actually in the lagoon, so you can't walk up to it like you can in Hollywood. I had to cut the camera there. I actually got a little emotional. It's so silly. The reason I was getting choked up there is because when I was a kid, I was extremely poor. I couldn't afford to come here, and I felt like I was sitting in a window looking outside while everybody else got to do things. It wasn't because of my disability, although my disability was a factor. It was because of poverty. You know, I worked very hard to get to the position I am now where I can afford to come here, and it just chokes me up because I come here every year, and it's my reminder to myself, no matter what the event is, it's not even about that. It's about my ability to come here and have fun. Remember, there was a time I couldn't afford to do this. I don't lose track of who I was, who I am, who I want to be. If I can do this, I can do anything. Thank you for coming with me. Let's go. Let's go in. Let's go have fun. I just met Foolish Mortal. That's her handle on Instagram over there at the ticket booth. So, hi, awesome meeting you. I love meeting new people when I'm out and about. We're waiting to get in. It's not too bad, actually. That is the lie. Mike said that. The thing I love about this place is every time I come down here, I meet new friends. Florida's kind of my second home. For my West Coast friends, I gotta show you this. First thing we're gonna do is the museum, deadly exhibits. Now, unlike Hollywood, I cannot record inside these haunted houses. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Unlike my trip to Hollywood, I remembered to bring my lanyard so I could put my express pass in it so I don't have to keep storing it in my boobs. I just double checked and definitely they do not allow recording in the houses. So you're gonna get some of this. The queue is pretty large. Right now, it's pretty empty. But usually waits for a house, if you don't have express, are gonna be up to 3 hours. If you don't have express, you're not doing more than 1 or 2 things per night. Now there are 2 ways that they do haunted houses in Florida. They do it in sound stages like they do in LA, or they do it in a sprung tent like this. And I guess it's pretty much the same, but the scale is just much larger. That would be a sprung tent. I'm about to go inside, but I'm gonna show you what the facade looks like before I do. So that was fun. I don't know if that was the most intense thing I've ever done, but like already you can tell the scale is so much larger than Hollywood. There were so many images in there that were just pretty cool. The other thing that I remember that I need to tell people the difference between Hollywood and here is that this event uses water. So you may get sprayed with a little bit of water when you go through. The other thing that you may not know is that they do this thing, they have what's called GATs, guest activated triggers. I whistled when I said that, I can't even talk. They have GATs, guest activated triggers. So if you see a blinking red button that looks like you should push it, I know it's gonna go against all of the law-abiding people like myself, but push the button. I mean, it's pretty obvious if it's there for you to push or not, so. And usually when you push the button, you'll activate some sort of effect, and it's pretty cool. One time I pushed it and I sprayed the people behind us with water. Now this one is supposed to be amazing. This one is Slaughter Cinema 2. It was really great last year in its first incarnation. And I've heard that it is one of the best ones this year. So I'm really excited to go in and see what's up. Again, it's a matter of scale. Look at this queue. I just scanned in my express pass, so we're gonna get in the shorter queue than the one that I think you just saw. But yeah, you're coming with me, so you don't need to stay in that. Something I really love about this event is they have built things that attract you into the experience. It's a little light, so I think I should have gone to see this when it was darker. In the front of this one, there is a drive-in movie. Unfortunately, it's a little too light to show up on camera. They are playing a clip, and it's freaking cool.
One life torn apart by war.
That was pretty cool. They make sure to build upward, and they're a little more specific, a little more detailed than I think I would have seen in Hollywood, and I really enjoyed that. The only problem here is capacity. They put so many people through that you don't always see all of the scares in each place. You may miss some things in rooms, but that just happens. I thought that one was a lot of fun. In my opinion, the best way to get exercise. If you asked me to walk 15 miles in a forest, I couldn't do it, but I'm gonna walk at least 15 miles tonight, and I'd be happy to do it tomorrow. It's important to remember, if you've purchased Express Pass, you also can ride any of the rides here. I plan to do. I love the East Coast version of the Mummy so much. Next, we're gonna do Goblin Feast and Eternal Bloodlines. I'm hoping that the Monster House on the East Coast really brings it, because I love Mason Bride of Frankenstein. I had some final thoughts on Slaughter Cinema 2. I thought it was really great that they had the drive-in theater in the front. They just stopped when it got to the door. I didn't get the recording for you because they don't want you recording the house, and I think that they would think that I was going to do that, so I had my camera off. The door to the house itself was just a door that opened that said authorized personnel only. There was nothing built out there, and I thought that was a missed opportunity, even though it was a really fun house. Now it's time to go through Goblin Feast. My eyes are not good enough to see a small monitor on the camera. I like how they project the ads on the sides of the sound stages. It feels a little less forced, which means I enjoy it a lot more. In Hollywood, they actually have you sit and watch it while you're on the tram, whereas here it feels like it adds value. I love the idea of projecting, and I wish Hollywood would project more on the sides of things, because we can do that now. I'm next to go into Goblin Feast. I wasn't sure if that was my eyes or a fog. I survived Goblin's Feast. I kind of love the amount of original properties they have this year. I know that's probably because they're focused on other things with Epic Universe opening, but I'm a big fan of what they come up with here when they are being creative and when it's not a licensed IP. I love those too, but what really made me fall in love with this event was the original properties. When they're actually immersed in creating these things here, I don't think it can be beat. So, hey, check it out, you guys. I found the restroom haunted house. Yeah, restroom haunted house. Get it. Now it's time for Eternal Bloodlines. Now we have another facade that doesn't really have anything at it. I'm really interested to see how this one compares to the one in Hollywood, because I love this concept. Anything with the Bride of Frankenstein has me. They could have done a little more with the entrance, I think. What did I just see? The story was really hard to follow in there. I was with them up until about halfway through. Then they lost me. This is one of those cases where I actually think the Hollywood one did a bit better job of telling the story. I saw some massive diversity in the cast. There were at least 2 Black Bride of Frankensteins, which is freaking amazing. I'm not really sure, I know what the story is, but I don't think I would have ever gotten to that from what I just saw. And I did see quite a few empty rooms in this one too. As always, I had a blast in there. I just wish, again, that I could go through a second time. The same thing applies here, because I understand they want to sell a more expensive express pass where you can go through multiple times, but I think they should give 1 or 2 credits so that people could choose to go through a couple, because it averages about 1 or 2 houses every time I go here. There's not really great show quality because some of the rooms are empty. So far I'm having a blast. Nothing has totally blown me away yet. Let's go through some scare zones and see what's up. But let's just So we have the Purge here too. I have to admit, I'm getting a little tired of the Purge.
Yes.
That was cute. Didn't really do a lot for me, but I'm glad it's there. My energy is lagging. You know what time it is. I have my traditional pumpkin spice latte with half the syrup and almond milk, and I'm gonna try this baked apple croissant. You might ask, why am I not eating any of the food for Halloween Horror Nights? It's not because it's bad, it's because my stomach hates everything. This thing is delightful. It's warm too. I know it looks like a space alien right now, but this thing is delicious. Oh, look what I found. It's a little boo, but he's lit up. Look how cool that is. I think when I get back home to California, I'm gonna have to go up to our city walk and buy it. Yes, I'm back in the Bloomhouse scare zone again. It shouldn't be peaceful in a scare zone. Do you see people scaring me? Nothing's happening. Oh, we have a house over here. I wanna know what you are. I wanna go through you. Major Sweets Candy Factory. Let's find out what this is about. I do have an idea what it's about. So far, I'm having a blast. I do have to say, it feels like a smaller event this year, And I'm noticing there's not as much going on. The work in the houses seem to be a little bit of a smaller scale than I would usually expect. Just did major suites. And yeah, I'm not sure. They used some air effects in there that actually startled me a little bit, and they had some of the floors that were rumbling, which was really great. And that took me off guard, but that's just because there hasn't been that kind of thing in the other houses. Kind of felt a little bit like I was walking through a museum. I had fun in there, but it wasn't what I normally expect from Orlando. This is usually a themed area, and they've built some things up above, but it literally just looks like a Spirit Halloween this year. Look, it's just slatted boards and some of that. Again, it feels kind of small. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I want to buy this one. We definitely have a little more theming in here, but again, we have this hardware store stuff going on. See this? All right, now we're gonna go into Triplets of Terror. I really liked that one. It was super cute. I love the idea that it was an original story. Allegedly took place in Pennsylvania, and I'm from Pennsylvania, so thumbs up to that. I did notice there were quite a few stationary mannequins in that one, and that's not normally what I would expect here. So again, I guess less people at a lower scale, but I did quite like how that was laid out. The thing that I'm also noticing in this one is they used rain machine, they used snow machine. They really did change it up on how they were doing the scares. I really appreciated that. They're using sound to almost replace actors, it feels like. There, they did it and it worked. But in some of the scare zones, there's sound that's happening that doesn't seem to match anything that's going on. But yeah, I had a lot of fun in there. I'm about to go into Insidious the Further. I've heard from people on Reddit that this is a really, really good one. I really want it to be good. Please be good. Insidious the Further. I can tell you, if you're looking for what you would normally expect in the quality of this event, go to that house. That was lovely. I really liked it because they did play with the pathing in there a lot. They used a scrim, so there were lighting effects. I did see mannequins in there, but they were actually used well. There was like a bunch of mannequins and you had to figure out which the human was. Also, a few used to distract you, and it worked. One distracted me, and then the guy came out of the other side. That is exactly what I like to see. I like to see diagonals. Felt like I got my money's worth in there. So far, it's the contender, not just the best one, but like leagues above the others that I've seen tonight already. I just want to see more like that. Next is The Quiet Place. This. I'm really excited to see how this one compares to Hollywood. It was really fun. I really loved a lot of the things they did in there. I love that you started in the house and then almost like you were in the movie, watching the movie. They actually, in the second room, there's the title of the movie. I thought that worked. That really, really worked. I really enjoyed a lot of what was in there, but it did feel like kind of 2/3 through the house started to lag a little bit, but I really appreciated the scale of what they built in there as far as the monsters. It was definitely more on par with what I would expect. And there were a few scares in there that I was not timed right for, and that's something that's really important for this event. The timing is really everything, and that's why you might see somebody say they love a particular house, and then other people might say they don't like it. It's just because they might have been out of time with the house. If I was in the right spot at the right time, would have obliterated me. So things don't have to be perfect. They just have to be fun. Okay, let's go through another scare zone. So that was interesting. That's a very long hallway, and usually that entire place, that entire hallway is a scare zone. There was nothing there this time. There's like 5 chainsaw people here, and that's it. Let's go back to the other scare zone. Went through when it was light. Let's see how that is. So this is weird.
I fear it's happened.
Yeah, the sound is coming from that direction. It's supposed to be making the sound. I'm going to show you what I mean. The sound doesn't match. That person is supposed to be speaking, but it's coming from there. That speaker. Why would you not put the speaker next to the scare actor?
How does it love it so it will be like a scream, I queen.
I love that they have a little thingy thing over there. It's so strange. It kind of feels like the event's very empty tonight. Usually this is a pretty busy area of the park during this event. Here we go. It's just people passing through and a few people on benches. Well, let's do the last house. My mistake, we have 2 houses left. Oh, I'm so excited. We have Ghostbusters and the Latin American house. Wow, I have never seen the bar so dead at Halloween Horror Nights. Look at that. It's worth noting, usually the waits are like 2 hours per house and it's only 35 minutes. Let's go and do the last 2 houses. And on the way out, I'll tell you what I think. I am having so much fun though. Okay, we're here at the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire house. And we're gonna go in it, and it's gonna be awesome. I really did appreciate a few of the rooms in the Ghostbusters house. There was a really great Frozen scene where you looked upward and you could see the universe they created with it being frozen. But when I was looking that way, there was an actor on my right on stilts that was coming out that the effect of the frozen stuff distracted me from seeing him, so it really wasn't set up very well. I never thought I would ever say this. It was less detailed than the one in Hollywood. Hollywood usually has the smaller and the less detailed mazes, but this is, I think, the first time in the history of my attending Halloween Horror Nights. Orlando has seemed smaller than Hollywood. And because they both had the same house, that was a 1-to-1 comparison there. They both did the room with people sitting at the dining room table freezing. This one kind of felt like a brightly lit window display. Wow, I really do wonder if we've gone into the upside down. Now let's go to the final house, the Latin American Monsters house. I really love this one in Hollywood, so I'm excited to see this one. Another note on Ghostbusters, there were a few rooms that you passed through where you could kind of look to your left and you could see the room that you were just in. I really love that design work. The Monsters of Latin America. Oh yeah. I'm really excited about this one. Okay, Latin American Monsters. A shout out to the guy on stilts at the end. The most committed actor I have ever seen. That dude got in it. He was going for the scare. He was going. The execution in the house was pretty bad. I didn't understand what was going on half the time, whereas the one I went through on the same topic in Hollywood introduced the concept in a lot more understandably. It just was not executed well. I can't lie to you. I have to say I enjoyed the scenery and I enjoyed the commitment the actors had in there, but the execution of the logistical elements were just not there. That's all the houses and all the scare zones. And something that I've seen consistently this entire night, empty rooms. I'm seeing rooms with mannequins, and I'm not sure I could really hear what was going on in there very well, and it literally was on a soundstage. But I love the concept. I loved the set design. I know they can do better than this.
That's right. Run to home. Rest up. You'll be back to face your fears again.
I really love the scare actors. I really love that they're up there with those others. But I'm gonna need some time to process this one. Okay, wow, I had so much fun. Oh my God. I will always forever be a massive Halloween Horror Nights fan. When I first went to Halloween Horror Nights here in Orlando, it changed my life. I don't think I'll ever be able to capture that feeling again. It can only happen once, where you just get so excited and so happy. I actually lost my voice. It's because I grew up in poverty and I had saved up my entire life. To be able to afford that vacation was working hard and getting a job where I could finally afford to do it. And I didn't even know Halloween Horror Nights existed. And I found it at that point, and then history was made for me. There's no way I wish I could just share with you the memories that I'm feeling about how much I love Universal Studios Florida and how much I love Halloween Horror Nights. That said, this event was very different from every Halloween Horror Nights that I've ever experienced. It's not going to take away my love of the event. I'm a big fan of the original properties that Universal Studios does for Halloween Horror Nights. But when you have original properties, the execution needs to be on point. I didn't see that tonight. I saw a lot of empty rooms. I saw a lot of rooms with mannequins in it. And I saw scare zones with 6 people in it doing the same motion over and over again. And I don't want to discourage you or say that this is awful. For me, it was quantifiably less than what I would expect. I paid about $262 and change to get in. And what I experienced tonight was way below that price point. I guess I can just close this with, I had fun because I'm somebody who will always love this event. I have to honestly say, this year came in below every other year that I've done. It feels like it's off. It feels like people are not really into it. I just feel if they're going to remove this much from the event, they really do need to lower the prices. Anyhow, thank you guys for coming with me. Really awesome to have a friend like you, because navigating with the eye implants, not super easy. So I really appreciate that you're here with me. Definitely subscribe, comment, let me know what you think of the videos, because I am taking your feedback. I'm trying to make them better each time that I do it. Let me know other things that you'd like me to do. I'm definitely interested in your suggestions. I'm gonna do Halloween, and after Halloween is over, we're going to do Christmas and things like that. I am just so happy. I'm so grateful I can do this. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for all the things. See you next week. I love haunted houses. I love haunted houses. I love haunted housing. What it is, even if almost none of my friends do. That's why you're here.